Welcome back. We're helping Western New Yorkers make ends meet this morning. Some in Western New York facing more difficulty due to a rise in rent. Experts say with housing supply dropping and demand rising, it was only a matter of time before rent went up. Advocates say they are particularly worried because there's nothing to indicate that landlords are going to drop prices for rent once the pandemic's over.
This is a matter of supply and demand. If you see rent prices increasing exorbitantly, it's typically because either the supply has been kept artificially low or the demand has increased. My best advice to a renter who wants to find a property here in Buffalo is that you have to be first, you have to be best. Get your rental application in immediately and don't delay.
Well, New York State's eviction moratorium is set to expire September 1st. As of right now, we don't know if there's a plan to extend that period or not. But with rent rising, some people are trying to kill two birds with one stone. They're paying with their credit card. They're paying off a big bill. They're also building up credit, but there is a problem. Landlords that accepted credit cards would often charge a fee. Well, that's where the credit card from Built comes in. It lets you pay your rent without a fee, lets you accumulate rewards along the way, but there's a risk here. Interest rates can hit you hard. So this morning, we wanted to take this a step further. Let's look at the benefits and the risks of using your credit card to pay rent in Western New York. I'm joined this morning by Noelle Carter, President and CEO of Buffalo's Consumer Credit Counseling. Noelle, good morning. Thanks for joining us. You know, I was saying earlier, I have never heard of this, paying your rent with a credit card. Is this something we see people doing?
Not especially, but I think for convenience, people may choose to pay rent with a credit card. And also right now, if people are struggling, they may be tempted to put their rent on a credit card if they can't afford it with cash.
Well, let's talk about the positives and negatives there. I know, okay, positives, you might be getting some perks, but if you're putting rent on that credit card, what do you need to be considering if you're putting that huge chunk of money on that card?
Yeah, one thing is obviously if you're not able to pay off the balance in full when your credit card becomes due, you're going to be paying a significant amount of interest on your rent, therefore increasing your costs. Also, something to be careful of is 30% of your credit score is comprised of your credit utilization. So your balance compared to your limit on your credit card. So if you have a low limit on your credit card, let's say $2,000, if your rent is $1,000 a month, you're now utilizing 50% of your credit. So that can start to impact your credit score.
You know, and a lot of people might not know the importance of that credit score. Just give me a brief breakdown. What does having a good credit score mean?
A good credit score opens up a lot of doors and reduces fees and additional interest you may pay over a lifetime. So a good credit score allows you to get an auto loan at a decent interest rate, allows you to obtain a mortgage. And the better the credit score, the lower your interest rate that you're going to pay. So that can be hugely beneficial over your lifetime.
Right. It has a huge impact on so many things that we probably don't even realize. Now, let me also ask you, if I am having a hard time paying rent, maybe it's a difficult month, having a hard time, you know, making ends meet, is there something I can do besides putting this chunk of change on my credit card?
Well, right now, due to the pandemic, there's an emergency rental assistance program in New York State. So if you meet certain income guidelines and you had a reduction in income due to COVID, you may qualify. So if you're struggling with rent right now, I would highly encourage you look into the program before putting rent payments on a credit card.
Yeah, some really important information. I think something a lot of people should probably really consider, weighing both sides right before we're making that purchase or making that move. Noelle Carter from Buffalo's Consumer Credit Counseling. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, giving us all of that information. Appreciate it.